Today, we're here to share the perfect dancing and perfect lives of all those ballroom dancers in your studio who you envy. Because they were all born perfect dancers and they never make mistakes. I sit on my butt, drinking wine, scarfing down decadent desserts every day. And by the way, it never affects my body. Cellulite? I don't have that. And when I'm at competitions, everything goes just as I expect it to be. And when I'm not on the comp floor, I am relaxing poolside, surrounded by my 9 children, who are all thrilled to spend 4 days at the competition. I'm always thrilled with the marks that I receive when I compete because all the judges love me. Let's get real, friends. Okay, today we're going to dive into what you probably don't see going on behind the scenes in your studio with those ballroom dancers who you admire. I'll be right back, friends. I'm just going to get something more normal on. Generations of ballroom dancers have felt occasional, if not often, feelings of I'm not as good as another dancer or many other dancers in our ballroom dance experience. And yes, this very likely includes your own coaches, okay? Because there is one couple in the world who is currently number 1 in their selected style, and everyone else is chasing that tiger's tail and behind, feeling less than, even though the reality is there's inevitably people looking up to you, admiring you, wishing they were you, feeling they're never going to catch up, etc. Okay? And in my opinion, this is compounded this day and age with social media. And I do see this in the ballroom dance world, even with my own friends. So how does that manifest itself? Well, they only show photos on their Instagram of the events that they placed well in. Or maybe they show themselves holding a trophy and wearing medals. And did that actually happen? Yes. Did they also share that the events were uncontested? No. And so, guys, it is a curated snapshot of someone's entire life. And are there going to be dancers better than you? Reality check, yes. But they didn't get there by living a life of leisure. I guarantee they have sacrificed a lot to get there. And this includes your pros, okay? I've shared with you my own stories. And one of my dear friends at Blackpool, and we're talking about a well-known championship level dancer, we were amateurs at that time, lived on ketchup packets for 3 days at Blackpool because he didn't have 2 cents to rub together. He had spent every dime on training, on the costumes, on going to Blackpool, and not cheap. And so they've all sacrificed a ton to get there. Even if it's just like your friend who's a super wealthy trophy wife, okay? You know what? I guarantee she has sacrificed that precious time with her kids growing up because she is hitting that dance floor hard at her lessons and practicing. She's leaving on the weekends for those comps. Everything comes at the cost of something else, okay? And frankly, I see this even more so in the pro community than the amateur community, though I've seen it in both. I'll see teachers, for example, present their students as if they're all champions, they all won. And friends, the reality, ultimately you can look up the results online, but, they're okay, but they do that to make themselves look good, to, puff up their students' egos so their students think they're great, yada, yada. The reality is no one wins their way to the top. Doesn't happen. No one jumps out of the womb a ballroom dancer, okay? They had to bust their keister and make loads of sacrifices to get there, and it didn't happen overnight. They've been hitting it hard for years, and unless you're coming out of like a chain studio and you're pro competed through the championship level, even if they never, competed pro, if they competed championship level as an amateur, they've dropped a ton of time and money and blood and sweat, and yes, even tears, alone in their hotel room when they didn't get those results they were hoping for to get to where they are today. But you know what the good news is? If you stick to it, you will get there too, okay? And recently, this last couple of years, I've even seen a proliferation along with the lifestyle bloggers or vloggers. I'll call it ballroom dance lifestyle vloggers or bloggers. I won't reveal names here, but there's a very, very well known pro ballroom dancer who's a good friend of mine, who almost daily posts these cherry-picked images of their life, where, their students are winning, hashtag, where they're at the side of the floor judging, and they look like they jumped off the cover of Vogue. They're in their bed surrounded by their kids, all wearing white, their hair is perfect, just waking up. They're by the pool at the comp where I know that they're judging and working in their swimsuit, glamored up life of leisure. You know what, guys, straight up, I know the truth. They are busting their butt at that comp. They are going to bed with sore feet because they're standing on that floor all day. They had 2 shakes of a lamb's tail to hang out at that pool. Trust me, they're working hard for a living. Here's another story, guys. I have a friend, former employee of mine, who was living well beyond their means. How do I know this? Because it was my employee and I got their paychecks. So, gorgeous, huge home in a very expensive neighborhood filled with amazingly opulent interiors and high-end furnishings, who only wore luxury brand clothing. They at one point, in addition to all of these trappings, purchased an extremely high-end, expensive new car. And so I just out of genuine concern as a friend, and this is my friend, I'm like, you do know there's like cheaper options out there. You don't have to buy this, car used. You even if you want that, brand or whatever, that's your jam. And his response to me, I swear to high heaven, was, well, I want to show my friends. And then he said, blankety blank you. And meaning he wanted to show off to his friends how well he was doing in his career. And, same thing, constant referring to his students as champions, constant photos of hashtag winning, whether that's, him or his students. Friends, I know the reality. No one wins in any way all the time. And this came to my attention today. So it's like, oh my gosh, I need to share a video like this because American Express, which if you're outside the United States, this is like a common credit card here, called me trying to collect debt on this person. The IRS called me recently on this person too. And apparently he listed my phone number as his phone number and all this stuff. Don't worry about me. It's none of it's in my name. So it's not like they can collect from me, but I'm like, yeah, not my employee, not my problem. Sorry. So do I feel bad for lenders? Absolutely. Is this ethical? No. But I am sharing with you that the reality is there are some people that are very insecure that you might think have the world at their fingertips, whether they're a beautiful dancer or they have all this money they're dropping on their dancing, or they win everything. The truth tends to be a little bit more in a gray area rather than black and white, perfect, horrible, and I sure hope that in your dance experience, when you have these feelings or see these curated images, please know it is an illusion. It is a snapshot. I guarantee that friend of yours, and it doesn't mean they're not your friend if you feel feelings of inferiority or envy, but I guarantee they do not walk off that floor every time feeling they did their best. You know what, guys? Even me, a championship level pro, me and all my friends I know, we have walked off that comp floor and been embarrassed by our dancing. Doesn't matter that everyone else in the room thinks it's beautiful. We are human beings. And the more you learn, the more you realize you have to learn and grow, and the higher your expectation level is of yourself. And regardless of how good you think that other student is in the studio, there's someone else they're looking up to that they're thinking, oh my gosh, I am never going to be as good as them. I bet my pro wants to teach them more than me. And I have shared previous videos on, my enjoyment as a long-term dance teacher. I can assure you, and really any of my pro friends, is not based on that student's level of success on the comp floor or even their skill level. It has to do with personality and working hard and kindness and all this other stuff. I've shared previous videos on that, but I just hope you don't buy into that illusion, and it doesn't hurt your ballroom dance dream, because if you keep working, you will become that person that you are hoping to be. There's always more beautiful dancing ahead in your dance life. So thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you first thing tomorrow morning with some more ballroom dance info. Okay, friends, have an awesome day. Happy dancing. Bye.